I mean, that's for sure. You take that build, you put it, 5 hours ago or whatever, 10 hours ago, and
He's got half as
it's the
many.
same thing minus 2 or 3, Phoenix, and they come just a little bit slower. So that's why it was hard to deal with. But we got to take it serious. Evo Chamber right away, Hydra Den just like you did, and then Queens continuously. Because the other thing about it is once you do hold it off, yeah, they kill Overlords and they shut down scouting, which is great. But they're not good against Corruptors. They're actually terrible against Corruptors, which you're going to make naturally anyways. And they are fragile. They run over one group of Hydras and they're all gone.
Oh, he definitely saw it. Bummer. Oh well. Okay. So I'm going to get gas first this time because I feel like his initial harass did a little more damage than it should have because I didn't get gas first. Maybe I should say gas first, but well, you know what I mean. Faster speed. Was Response a Brood War player? I don't recognize his name from back
Response? Yeah. He was in Neo. Neo Response.
Ah, Neo Response. That does sound more familiar. Damn it. Come on, Pool.
He is recently engaged, so congratulations to him. There's people that think so. With 6 slings, no. With 4, maybe. With 2, certainly yes. Watch your Overlord. He's chrono boosting that gateway. That Overlord's probably already dead.
No joke.
So if that happens, I just go ahead and start making it right now.
Yeah. As soon as I get the hatch started. Yeah, there's not going to be any saving that one.
Nope.
We require more minerals. Metamorphosis complete.
It's got one of the towers. One of the things you are missing is those lings are not at the front of the base, kind of poking around.
Yeah, just waiting on these next 4 to come up and join them. No expansion.
2 stalkers.
Stalkers, alright, this is one base. This has to be one base.
And I am totally fine with you making that read, because that's the same one I would have made. Keep
2
those
spine
lings.
crawlers is an overreaction or okay?
Overreaction.
1 spine crawler is okay.
Love the Sacrificial Overlord. Because guess what I just saw?
Stargate.
Stargate and Void Ray. If you see that, you don't need multiple... I mean, 1 spine crawler is fine, but you want multiple queens, and it's going to be roaches. Or roaches and speedlings, depending on how fast he does this. And he's actually coming right now, so it's probably just going to be speedlings. Watch the queen. Transfuse. Go ahead and transfuse anyways, and don't let that queen get off the creep like that. Oh, here he is. He's already here. Oh, running in. Good. But this is getting a little chaotic, so you got to transfuse that spine crawler at least. The other one does have some. Transfuse on the queen.
Oh god.
So here's what happened. He picked off the only things you have that can hit. They can hit
Shoot
those
up,
void rays.
yeah.
So even if you run them over with Zerglings here, you're never going to touch those void rays.
So,
Love the link counter. I can just tell you. I mean, if you would have held this off
too
much
careless
better.
with the queens is the moral of the story there.
Well, it's not even careless, just overzealous. Like, you're like, oh, they're fine attacking ground units. No, they're terrible. They should have ran away from the zealots. They should have been there just to transfuse and then back off. So here's that one base timing.
Yeah, that's something that we can definitely take into our session with Machine on Thursday. 20 minutes. Do you think we got time to squeeze out another game and still have some Q&A?
Sure, and I'm okay with going over.
Alright, I won't keep you more than 5 extra minutes. If that's okay with you.
Oh, of course. I look forward to these sessions. I do not mind. Do one last one, and I doubt he will do it because he's been shaking up his builds, but just between you and I, like, you identified it perfectly. Wonderful scouting. The Ling saw, okay, he's got 2 stalkers. This is a 1-base timing. And back at home, you were kind of dilly-dallying between how many spine crawlers. And, I mean, you would have seen it. 2 spine crawlers, not a difference in the world. Would have got crushed as well. It's going to come down to speedlings doing exactly what you did. I love running in there. You killed a bunch of probes. You stopped his mining. Oftentimes, these 1-base timing.
Yeah.
They cut probes, so you actually, were messing with a very fragile economy to begin with. But then back at home, there was no real big sense of urgency. It wasn't 2 queens being made. It wasn't 25 Zerglings or whatever. It was kind of gradually doing those 3 things in stages. You can't do that. If a guy's doing a 1-base timing, you have to treat it like he's, pushing you off a cliff. You can't be like, well, please don't, and kind of pat his shoulder and tug at his sleeve. You gotta be biting that shit. You gotta be ripping at his fingernails and kicking, whatever you can do.
Since this is the last game we're going to play tonight, I just want to say for everybody watching on stream, if you have questions for Jeff, please email them, and my mods can paste that email address if y'all don't know it already. Makes it a lot easier to ask questions when I don't have to sort through a very wild and crazy chat. Very vigorous typing there.
Yeah, it's the 6GV2 Steel Series. It lets you know you're typing.
You a big fan
I'm
of the
not
Steel
even-
series?
The keyboard's fantastic. I love it.
Oh yeah, Overlord. That's important. So I'm guessing 9 o'clock because I haven't seen that probe yet. But who really knows, right?
So Machine hasn't gotten you Overlord scouting from ramp to ramp yet?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I've kind of am of the opinion that when I'm going pool first, that the Lings are going to be out in time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a personal preference thing, I guess. I do like the ramp to ramp scout. I think it's just a matter of in the other matchups, you don't do it, so you just get out of the habit of doing it in general.
Sure. I'll tell you, had you done it, you would have seen that his forge finished about 5 seconds ago, and his cannons are just now going to be up. So I don't know that you could have killed him, but you could have done something.
That's a sad feeling right there.
Yep, Nexus is already completed, he's already mining from it, and you just get there and you're like, oh. I'm
So-
supposed to have it faster.
Lots of ways I like to do this. Obviously, we can go try to put down another expo, and I think that's what I'm going to do this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like doing stuff like that is kind of vulnerable to 6-gate timings.
Yeah, it definitely takes nuances with the roach burrow timing. It's up to you. I mean, there's only really a couple of choices to respond to this. It's either faster expanding, which I'm partial to, or hydro timing, which I think is much more dangerous.
Yeah, it's a good
But it's
call.
kind of a, it's like a pendulum though. It's dangerous for both guys. It either works tremendously well against what they're doing, or
Hydro
doesn't
timing
work.
would be good against the Stargate that we know is coming,
yeah.
because we're cheating.
Just don't let that probe run too much of a muck in your base, because they'll look at that and say, okay. Make sure these overlords are all getting relevant. You've got two kind of congregating at the top. If you want to have one spotting for a cannon, that's fine, but two is a little bit of overkill.
I don't know the two overlords that you're talking about.
Top of the map.
Oh, that top.
Require more minerals.
Gotcha. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in this situation, I know he's got basically no army.
You want burrowed roaches. I mean, you're gonna go. You can do Hydroden because you haven't built roaches. And in close positions, hydras are fine because really the things that are the natural enemies of hydras are Colossus, and you know he's a ways away from that. You threw down the roach horns. That's okay.
I'll get a Hydrogen too.
But in the future, you can think along those lines. So it's not even necessarily cheating. It's just kind of like taking into account where you guys are.
Well, I would definitely agree with you in your kind of indirect assertion that roach burrow timings are really strong from these positions.
Yes. Well, against 6K, it's a must.
Yes,
There's
that's
very little else you can do. If you go hydras, you're probably still going to get ran over.
But fortunately for
Low
us,
on gas, high on minerals. So yeah, you did take the double gas at the natural. Good.
I'm probably overdroning a little bit, don't you think?
No, I like this round. I transferred over that third, all of them. But then after this, it has to be pure units. It's got to be pure units from here on in. And then, boom, Phoenix. So you know how to react now.
Yep.
Queen, Queen, Hydras, ASAP.
Fucking burrow. Should I cancel burrow?
Maybe Evolution
let's-
Chamber,
I can
too.
cancel burrow because he's going Phoenix.
Sure. Throw down Evolution Chamber. You actually have, you know, more money than you can spend right now. Transfuse. No, just missed it. No, you can do it. You can do it.
49 energy, man.
Yeah, so that takes forever, I guess. This is actually good. This could be ending with a win. If I look at this and I'm in close positions, I'm thinking Hydra timing, and that's it. Like I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna roll out a billion Hydras. Should be making overlords at that third, probably, out of harm's way.
Nice.
You have it. Engineer, or excuse me, the evolution chamber has finished, but there's no spore colonies going down. Target the weakest Phoenix. Nope, not the one with full health. The one that's got one hit left on it. Then target the one that's got like 2 hits on it. Always want to do that.
But he's still probably, his economy is probably twice as big as mine. So now I have more gas than I can spend. Upgrade.
Well, in the future, make those. I mean, you had the evolution chamber. You're just kind of lax about making the spore colonies. Make them ASAP right away. Build overlords at a base that he's not at, not at the one he is at. That should strike you as a little bit odd that you did do that.
Yeah, that's just one of those little things. Not exercising the kind of foresight that I need to exercise to play at a higher level.
Yep. High gas, low mineral. I